Okay, today we're going to look at importing an AutoCAD plan into Revit. But firstly, there's a couple of videos in the program we might watch. They're sitting down here. And by the way, this program will be fleshed out a bit more hopefully this week with a few more links and maybe projects and things like that we'll be doing, so you know what's going on as the weeks are coming up. So basically there's some videos here. It says how long they are, 7 minutes there, 5 minutes here, four, and they're about importing stuff into Revit. So we're going to import a house plan into Revit, as you just saw a minute ago here, something like that from AutoCAD. So I'm going to run through that as we're doing it, and I'll show you how to vectorize that into a Revit file. But first of all, we'll just have a look at some of these videos. They might be of use, of general information, just to set the project up, I suppose. So yeah, I'll run through those now. Sometimes these links don't work, so you might have to just copy them and paste them. So just pop over to here. Let's paste it in here for a minute, and that should go off. Okay, so after watching those videos, we'll attempt to bring in an AutoCAD plan or AutoCAD drawing into a blank drawing. As you can see, I've got one here already, but I'll just close this and start again. Alright, so the way we're going to begin with this is to hit the new button and just choose a template. We'll go architectural as usual, and okay, so it comes into this. Now generally I'll show you a couple of different ways of doing it. You just go to the Insert tab, and here we have a variety of ways of bringing drawings in. Revit link will be if you were to bring in another Revit file. We don't have one of those. Now anything that says link on it, it's a bit like the AutoCAD external referencing. I'm not sure if you've done any of that, but basically it means it's not in the drawing, but it's referenced from externally, and that file has to exist or coexist with the Revit file every time you give the Revit file to someone. So it's not wholly inserted into it. If you want that, you got to go across to where are we here? Import a CAD file like that. I don't think you can bring in. You can bring in other Revit files, but for CAD formats you go here. All right. So just once again, so we're going to go to import CAD here for us, and I've got a drawing file that I want to bring in, which is this one here. The preview shows that it's probably on the paper space mode at this point. That doesn't matter. There's some options here to just bring in the current view or other views. We're not going to bother with that. We'll just leave it unticked. The colors can be preserved, or you can make them sort of black and white. We're going to bring all the layers, and we're going to leave the units to auto detect. So for example, if your drawing was in meters, you can detect that it's in meters, and it'll just modify it so it becomes real life size project. As I said to you before, Revit draws everything in physical size, so it doesn't matter if it's meters or millimeters or what. So what it's trying to do by doing that is to bring it up to that level where it's a physical size rather than something that's not really relevant to the real world. Alright, so what I detect there, I do know that from checking the AutoCAD file here, that this is actually millimeters anyway, so it should work quite nicely. So let's go back to Revit. A few other things to look at here is this. The main thing is this one here. By default is auto center to center. So basically, it doesn't really look at where your origin is. So, for example, where 0, 0 is. Now, that's an important thing for especially surveying, where you want to always line up something from a particular datum in case you want to bring some more data in later around it. It all fits in quite nicely. So normally we would do this option here, not center to center. Let me just show you what happens when I do this for this particular example. Not that it really matters, but it might be easier for us to use the other option, just this one's, but just know what this one does, and this is the proper one to use in a real sort of job. But let's have a look at opening that. So I brought it in now, although I can't see a thing, because the 0, 0 or the origin for this, if I, well, I can reveal it, but basically it's about the middle here. Let's see, real hidden elements. That's where the 0, 0 is, and I imagine this plan here, if I go back to AutoCAD, if I go line from 0, 0, 0, okay, so it's that's where 0, 0 is. So it's about that far off from, so that point there, from there to there, or where the beginning of the house is, will be about the same distance as to where. If I just put that down there, it'd be an interesting exercise to sort out maybe. DI for distance in AutoCAD now. To there, we've got 83 odd meters, 84 meters nearly. I just zoom this out. Here's the house. Just roughly go from there to there, I think it was. There you go. It's that basically. I mean, mine was slightly different, but I might have, and I didn't really have a look where my end point was. It was roughly about there. So it's 84 meters. So that's what it's done. It's put it from one origin to another, and that worked fine. That's what I told it to do. So let's go here. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. This one here. All right. So. It just means you have to zoom it out. It just means my elevations and sections are not going through the house and all that sort of stuff. I can easily move all this stuff up there around this house, or I can move the house back here, but then that's defeating the purpose of actually having, getting it to go to the origin, stuffing things up. So really, ideally, you want to move all these things up around this house, and we can do that as well. In theory, that shouldn't be too hard. A matter of move. And just place them up in here. So now my elevations are around that. So that means that if I go to the south elevation, I'll be able to see the house if I've drawn. At the moment, there's nothing there. It's just flat 2D thing. There it is. There's nothing there. So that's what that does. So we can move those elevation symbols, which is those things there. All right, which I just did. I'll just undo that for a minute, and I'll undo the other bits we did. Okay, so now there it is, still there. Undo that again a few times. Is it still there? No, gone. All right, so just for, so it says you're moving these things around, and it's really not a real project anyway. You could go the other way for this, but I'm just telling you it's really an unorthodox way of doing it. But you could go again there, and this time you can leave it to auto center to center, and it will just basically drop it there. So that just fits in. You don't have to move anything, and it's not a real project anyway. And at the end of the day, the original one wasn't drawn to real coordinates anyway, because I'm sure Major's Road is not, it's not 84 meters away from 0, 0. It's probably like 6 million millimeters away or more. All right, so maybe we'll just go with that option, but just wanting you to understand which is the better one to use in real life projects. All right, so just to recap, it was this this one here, origin to origin is what you normally would use. All right. Well, having brought this in here, it's a bit messy. It's got a lot of stuff around it. All we really want to do is just trace this house, okay? So what I'm going to do is show you the next bit in the next video. So I'll just pause this one for now.